Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you three online whiteboard tools that I've been using consistently over the past couple of years. So the first one is Annotate, available at annotate.net, and this was the tool I used most often to deliver live lessons as well as pre-recorded lessons over the lockdown. So to sign up, go to annotate.net, click on free sign up. Click on sign up for an educator account and then sign up with Google. Okay, so annotate.net is integrated with your Google Drive, provided you give it access to your Google Drive, of course. So once you are logged in, you can click on plus here, and you can either create an empty notebook, an empty presentation, not much point in doing that, or you can import content from your Google Drive. So select your Google Drive, and then find a presentation from there. So for example, let's say I want this one, lesson 1, 9.1 and 9.2, coordinates and linear graphs for the year 11. It's actually this one, the lesson, not the task sheet. What it does is it's going to import the presentation, essentially the Google slide presentation, essentially as a PDF file. Okay, click on import. It's going to take a few seconds for it to be ready. I'm going to show you the ready presentation. It's ready already here. Let's open this one and let's see what we can do with annotate.net. So now I'm inside my my presentation, and what annotate.net is going to allow you to do is annotate the presentation. Okay, so it has a pen tool. It has drawing tools, of course, so you can draw lines, shapes, you can add text, of course. It has math tools, so it has a ruler, a protractor on the screen which you can use, a compass. This makes demonstrating constructions super easy to do and super clear on the projector essentially. You can add a screen shade to cover part of your slide, let's say with your answers, a timer, of course, which you can customize and use, and have that timer inside of the slide itself, so you can add the questions and the timer at the same time. You can add, of course, new pages, empty pages if you need to. What I find very useful is being able to duplicate the page, essentially, so copy and paste the same page, then you can clear the ink and answer a different question inside of the same page in this, in a way that in this way you don't run out of space, essentially. Okay, because you can duplicate the page and then clear the ink and keep on writing, or you can also extend the page, okay, down or right, so you can make the page bigger on one side or the other if you want to do more writing there. What I find very useful is that you can then, well, add an empty page if you want to, or add a graphing calculator. For those of you who know it, this is essentially Desmos inside of annotate.net, okay, because the interface is the same as Desmos. So you can, of course, type in functions, so straight lines, quadratics, cubic functions, whatever you want, really. And you can customize the way the grid looks like. Okay, so for example, let's say you're delivering a lesson which is heavy on drawing graphs. You can have your slides prepared on Google Slides, imported here, and then you can have a series of slides with the graphs you're going to need in the way you're going to need them in the lesson, essentially. So customized depending on what kind of question you have, with a different scale depending on the question, and so on, of course. Unlike Desmos, this of course allows you to still write with your pen on it, so annotate it essentially as well. So talking about pen, so how do we actually write on this? Well, we can use our mouse, of course. It's not very comfortable, but it can be done, of course. This works really well with one of those Wacom tablets. We all have one. Each member of the maths department has one now. We've used it a lot over lockdown to deliver the lessons, of course, and it's very comfortable because you can just use a pen and just write, which makes the whole process much more natural, of course. But there's another way you can use these, which is using a tablet, using an iPad, for example. Okay, so if you do have a tablet with a pen, you can go to annotate.net on your tablet. Okay, just open it in the browser. It doesn't have an app, as far as I know. Just open annotate.net in your tablet. Quick note: they are still in beta, so one of the limitations they have is that they allow only one login at a time. So if you are logged on in your tablet, you won't be able to then log in somewhere else, and vice versa. But it's not an actual limitation. Then now I don't have an iPad, so pretend that what you see here is my iPad, okay? And I'm delivering a lesson in the classroom, okay? So I've got my annotate.net open, I've got my presentation open, okay? Let's start from the beginning. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on the projector here. You don't need that because you're in the classroom, you don't need to stream anything there. So just leave it open here, course, open enrollment, and just click on start. Okay, so now on the other hand, pretend that this is now my desktop computer, okay, in the classroom, attached to the projector, of course. Okay, so on here, on your desktop computer, attached to the projector, sorry, click the wrong one, click on login, join. Okay, now back to my iPad. Okay, I can copy and paste these, of course, yeah, but in the classroom, of course, you'll have to go and type in the code here. So you see here you have your pin. I can put the pin for my lesson. Okay, I'm not logged in or anything. I just need to put in the pin here and just my name, which can be anything. No one's gonna see that anyway. Okay, and just click join. What this does, so now this has loaded on my desktop computer. Okay, I can then press F11 to have the presentation full screen. This way, this is what's going to be projected. Okay, now let's go back to my iPad. Okay, so now I'm on my iPad. I can just click OK, close this. Okay, and I'm now going to be able to deliver the lesson from my iPad. Okay, because if I move to the next slide, the timer is still on there. If I move to the next slide, this is going to move as well. Okay, if I start the timer, if I stop the timer, every change I make on my iPad is going to be reflected on the projector by doing this. Okay, including, of course, annotations. So if I write on my slide, the students will be able to see my writing on the projector. So you can be there with your iPad, just walking around the classroom. We can't do it right now, but anyway, away from the projector, away from the computer. Okay, just with your iPad in your hand and with a pen, and you can just annotate the slides, and the annotation will reflect on the screen, of course. Okay, so anything you change will change on the screen. Once you are done, you can then click on stop the presentation, and you can just end the live stream. Okay. Now all of these presentations can then be exported, download, so they can be exported as PDF, including your annotations, of course, so everything will be saved. But there's an even more efficient way to do this effectively. So let's say it's the beginning of the lesson, or even before the lesson. You can click on here, click on share. You have to click on this one before you share publicly, as in both of these options have to be selected. Okay. Now my presentation is now public. Okay, it's now shared publicly, and it has a URL associated with it. Okay, I can then just copy this URL, and I can then save this link to, for example, to Google Classroom. Okay, so do you see I'm not logged in or anything here, but I can see the presentation. Okay, so let's say I open this link from Google Classroom because my teacher has posted the link on Google Classroom. okay, and I can now see the presentation. Let's make these full screen. So let's say I missed a lesson. Okay, I'm a student who missed a lesson. I can click on that link and see all the slides, of course, as well as all the annotations made by my teacher. Okay, so this doesn't update live. It updates every 30 seconds or so. So if you go to this page during a lesson, you won't be able to see the pen moving or anything in this case, unlike we were doing earlier with the iPad. But you know, the annotations are saved there. So at the end of the lesson, the students can go back and see everything there, see all of your annotations. Okay. One more quick thing about annotate.net. So if you go to the Chrome Web Store, you can download and install the annotate.net extension. So what this does is that it allows you to annotate quickly inside of a web page. So for example, I can have Google Slides open here. And what this allows me to do is then, yeah, okay, thank you very much, is then it's going to allow me to annotate straight away onto a Google slide. Of course, it's not going to edit the Google slide. It's an annotation literally just on the screen, okay? So if you then move to the next Google slide, for example, the annotation will still be there. So you'll have to then delete your annotation using this button. Okay, so this is a lot more limited compared to using the annotate.net website, but it's quick to use, and you might want to use that. You still have to be logged in with your account in there as well. Okay. Now, the second tool I want to talk about is BitPaper. This is available at bitpaper.io. This is free, but it gives you only one whiteboard, or rather, you can create one new whiteboard a month for free, I think. I paid for a few of them because it's very cheap. It's like less than $1 per whiteboard. So I created one whiteboard per year group, essentially, per year group I'm teaching. Okay, and the way I use it is not necessarily to deliver the lesson, not normally at least, but I use it for let's say we have a revision lesson. Okay, let's say I'm doing a revision lesson, say with area 9s. I've got my Unit 4 checkup questions here. Okay, so what I can do is, of course, I will give them the task sheet, but then I will then explain only specific questions at the board. The rest I will be just helping students, discussing with students, in the classroom. So let's say I want to, let's say I realize that many students have an issue with, let's say this question here. I can just copy and paste it very quickly and just have it ready on my slide. Okay, and I can just can then again use my my mouse or my Wacom tablet or my iPad as well to write on this, essentially. Okay, this is very simple very quick to use, essentially, but I don't use it for regular lessons. I just use it when I have to just copy and paste loads and loads of questions there. You can access all the attachments to a certain whiteboard just by pressing D or by clicking on the clipboard here, and you can just select whatever you want and re-add it to any slide you want, essentially, based on what you need on the spot. Essentially, you can create new slides by just clicking on the arrow keys here. So it's super easy to use, a little bit more basic than annotate.net. Although they're coming up, they're about to add a few more tools to this as well. Now, any whiteboard here again is as a URL, so you can share that URL and have it open onto different devices. So you can have it open on your iPad as well as on the desktop in your classroom. So you can have that shown on the projector and use the iPad to annotate, and the annotations will then reflect on the screen. Essentially, they will be shown on the screen. This is very useful as well. I know that lots of people use it for private tutoring as well. So you can share this link with your student if you're working one-to-one online, for example, and you can both annotate on the same and write on the same whiteboard, essentially. Okay, the last online whiteboard tool I want to talk about is conceptboard. So this is available at conceptboard.com. Now this is even more integrated with Google Drive compared to annotate.net, because if you have to go onto annotate.net and choose to open a file from there, this is actually potentially even quicker, because once you sign up using your Google account and you allow it to access your Google Drive, you can then just find a presentation or anything else really, right click on it, click on open with concept board, and it's going to then open that presentation using concept board. Again, it's an online whiteboard. It works in a very similar way to the other two tools. I don't use it that often, but it's, depending on your preference, this could be potentially useful as well. This is this shows you, it shows all the slides. Essentially, you can just navigate through the presentation as usual, essentially. And in addition to that, it's also an unlimited whiteboard. So you can then, let's say you need more space, you can then just, just drag the presentation on the side and just start writing in a free area of the whiteboard, essentially. Okay. Again, you can open these using your iPad, so you can have this open on your iPad, share the presentation, as in have the same presentation open on the desktop computer, and then on your iPad just use the moderation function, essentially. So any change you make on your iPad will then reflect on the projector, essentially. But when I tried this, probably last year, I found that it is a bit heavy in terms of data transfer. So depending on the quality of the Wi-Fi, this wasn't working always really well. But annotate.net, for example, is I think a lot more reliable from this point of view. Again, you can similarly to annotate.net, you can use these to save all of your annotations, essentially. So the link to this whiteboard can be shared, it can be made public, so no one can edit it, but everyone can see it, provided they can click on the link, essentially. And this way they can go and look at your at the slides and the annotations as well, of course. So this was a very quick overview of the 3 online whiteboard tools I've been using recently. So I know it was a little bit quick. If you have any questions in terms of setting any of these up, just come and find me in the Maths office, or just send me an email and I'll be happy to help you. I hope you found this useful. Thank you.